welcome to Frank's School. I'm going on the 67th day of the 5th year. I'm going on with a description of a movie I imagine called Resurrection. Maybe I'll jump straight to this. I've created two playlists in Frank's School. One of them will follow my description of this movie. You'll find just Resurrection, the movie, I think is the name I gave the playlist. And I'll just keep adding to it. So if somebody got really interested in this and didn't want to go through the bother of finding these videos, they could just watch. The other one is I called Aldeias do Xisto. And there I put together film footage that I have, and some of it is also Shirley's, Shirley Hawkling's, from our trip in May and June, early June of 2015. So you can see what I saw of three Aldeias do Xisto. Now, if you'd look this up, of course, if you'd Google it or YouTube, you'd see lots more about those. And some of it's my description. Okay, now back to this. Number one, as the old man, he also has a backpack. It probably needs to be somewhat heavy. And I wondered a little bit if he shouldn't also have a sack that he carries on his head. Probably, actually, maybe not quite as big, or maybe similar, because he's got to be able to put it up there. And anyway, the two of them then go down. Now, at this point, and I told you they're going to head, I told you where this is, what time of year. They're going to head down into an Aldeia do Xisto. And now I think it's time to make some kind of a panorama to show the view. They're on a mountainside, and to show what it looks like, maybe slowly, and including a view of the Aldeia, but maybe not in great detail, not yet. And at this point, too, wind should be brought in as one of the four elements: earth, wind, fire, and water. They're characters as well. I'm sure I told you that early. Anyway, the leitmotif of wind, it could maybe start in the trees, I'm not sure. But it then would go to, sort of shockingly in a way, the modern world, because it would the camera would then go to one of these huge, towering, modern-day windmills that are all over the Portuguese mountains. It could eventually, maybe not show that at first, wind in the trees, whatever, but then eventually go up and see that windmill. And even it could zoom, I suppose, into the windmill. Maybe that would work. Now, there would be a leitmotif for each one of those four elements. Wind should have its own leitmotif, musical theme. And the timbre, I thought about this. What kind of timbre? Maybe a pan flute? But a pan flute, you don't usually think of a pan flute as being played that violently. It has a sort of a soft sound. I'm not sure, but it certainly is a very windy timbre. Sounds almost like nothing but wind. That would probably work if the composer could make it work with volume and excitement and speed and stuff. Now, with this panorama, at some point before that zooming, I suppose, the old man should probably do a double take, because the camera should go into his face fairly close up, just very similar to what happened when he was looking far away to see character number two, the woman walking up the hill. The distance from the face should be the same. The look should be about the same. He's looking very far away, and now into the windmill. But then here's a transition into the front of a jet engine that's spinning, but winding down. This is the modern world. Now the viewer may be a little bit shocked to think, getting all comfortable for this to be set in some kind of a primitive other time world. It's the modern world. And we find out that this is the word, it'd be better if, I'm trying to keep this wordless, so if you didn't even see the word Lisbon, that would be good. But it's the Lisbon airport. a plane has arrived, and now we're in the modern world. This character, will then go via the train station in Coimbra, where he'll get a bus, and the bus will take him to Arganil, and then he'll walk to the aldea. This is a sort of a collapsed arrival. That would take more than one day, almost certainly. But anyway, it's so, in a sense you could say this is slightly a flashback, slightly. But anyway, he will eventually arrive at the aldea. And what happens at the aldea, I'll save that for next video tomorrow. All right, the character. Let me tell you about this guy. He's probably black, could be Arabic. That would be perfect if it could be cast right. I'm just not sure. He should be very strong. I mean, remarkably strong, and probably big. Maybe he could be wearing a muscle shirt, you know, to celebrate just how strong his arms and shoulders are. And I think he should be shaved, unlike the old man. Maybe even a shaved head, you know, like guys do. I don't know, but I think so. But he's angry. He's angry, and it's going to not be clear why. It's almost endemic in him. He is an angry young man. To tell you the truth, I'm basing him on certain people I know who are discontent. They're young. They're discontent. He is discontent, and somehow that has to come off him. He's carrying a huge, heavy backpack. Too heavy for a little guy like me, I suppose. But he's big and he's strong, and he gets it from the airport or whatever. He smokes. I suppose that could be shown too, still at the airport. And his timbre, a bassoon. And there's reasons for that. I mean, a bassoon is so often used to represent something comical. You know, I think there's a tune that comes to mind. He would not be comical. But in any case, I think that's the timbre and that's the instrument that I would want his leitmotif to have. All right, now finally, I just want to say this, that in the movie, I imagine, there's 5 acts. I'm working on Act 1, and I'm probably about a third of the way through Act 1. And I am telling you quite in detail, almost shot by shot. I don't intend to do that with the other acts. Maybe I could, but I don't intend to do that. But I thought I'd at least give you some perspective of where are you. When we get to the end of Act 1, I'll then sort of come clean and explain more about what I'm trying to do. Bye for now.